If you're looking for the fastest and safest way to move to Ireland in 2026, then this video is for you. Do not skip this video.
Ireland is the only native English-speaking country in the European Union. Let that sink in for a moment. Because what that means for you as a Nigerian professional is extraordinary. You get the English language advantage, the EU access, the Irish passport pathway, in a country where Google, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Pfizer, and dozens of other major multinationals have a European headquarters, creating one of the most concentrated job markets for skilled professionals anywhere in Europe. And here's the part that most Nigerians do not know. Ireland has a work visa, the critical skills employment permit, that does not require your employer to prove they try to hire locally first, processes in 4 to 8 weeks, allows your spouse to work without needing a separate permit from day one, allows your children to join you from day one, and leads to permanent residency in just 2 years. 2 years, after which you can apply for Irish citizenship and an Irish passport in 5 years total from arrival. This video is the complete guide to relocating to Ireland in 2026 with your family. The fast-track work permit, the step-by-step process, the salary data, the cost of living, what changed in June 2026 that affects family reunification, and the honest realities of building a life in Ireland as a Nigerian. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Praise, and I run Social and Travels, a travel and migration support company that helps Nigerians navigate visa applications and international relocation. Ireland is a destination I get asked about constantly, and with good reason. For Nigerian professionals with in-demand skills, Ireland offers one of the most accessible and most rewarding pathways to European permanent residency available anywhere in the EU in 2026. Let's walk through everything you need to know. Before we get into the visa mechanics, let me make the case for Ireland as a destination, because there are dozens of countries with work visa programs, and understanding what specifically makes Ireland different is what makes this video valuable. English language, the Irish advantage. Ireland is the only native English-speaking country in the European Union. For Nigerian professionals, this is a genuinely significant advantage over Germany, France, the Netherlands, or any other EU destination, because it means your professional communication, your social integration, your children's schooling, and your daily life all happen in a language you already speak with full fluency. You are not learning German in addition to navigating a new country, new job, and new school system. You arrive with the single most important integration tool already in your possession: the multinational ecosystem. Ireland has successfully attracted an extraordinary concentration of global technology, pharmaceutical, and financial services companies to establish their European headquarters in Dublin and other Irish cities. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Twitter, LinkedIn, Salesforce, Stripe. The list of major tech companies with significant Irish operations reads like a who's who of global technology. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Bristol-Myers Squibb, Allergan, AstraZeneca. Ireland hosts the European operations of many of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. And the IFSC, the International Financial Services Center in Dublin, hosts major international banks, asset managers, and fintech companies. This concentration of multinational operations creates a job market that is extraordinarily rich for skilled professionals in technology, engineering, finance, accounting, and healthcare. And it means that the jobs available to Irish work permit holders are not obscure roles at unknown companies, but roles at some of the world's most prestigious and best-paying employers. The EU pathway. Unlike the UK, which left the EU in 2020, Ireland is a full European Union member state. This means that Irish citizenship, which becomes available after 5 years of legal residence, is an EU passport. An EU passport grants you the right to live, work, and travel freely across all 27 EU member states. For a Nigerian professional thinking about their family's long-term future, the strategic value of an Irish citizenship pathway is genuinely exceptional. You're not just getting Irish residency. You are building toward one of the most powerful legal statuses in the world. Ireland's 2026 economic context. Ireland offers the perfect combination of English language and European Union access. With unemployment at 4.5% and being the only native English-speaking EU country, opportunities are exceptional for international professionals. Ireland in 2026 offers some of the best career opportunities in Europe, especially for skilled workers in technology, finance, engineering, and healthcare. Although the cost of living remains high, competitive wages and strong job growth make Ireland an appealing destination for both local and international professionals. The Critical Skills Employment Permit, commonly abbreviated as CCP, is Ireland's most powerful and most accessible work permit for skilled non-EEA professionals. And in 2026, it remains the single best route to Ireland for Nigerian professionals with in-demand qualifications. What makes the CSCP genuinely fast-track? The Ireland Critical Skills Employment Permit 2026 is Ireland's premier work permit category. It is specifically designed for highly skilled non-EEA professionals working in occupations that face genuine labor shortages in Ireland. It stands apart from other Irish work permits in several important ways. It does not require a labor market needs test. It allows immediate family reunification, and it provides a direct pathway to long-term Irish residency after just 2 years of employment. The labor market needs test, LMNT, is the requirement in most countries that employers must prove they advertised the role locally and could not find a qualified domestic candidate before hiring internationally. For most Irish work permits, this advertising requirement takes at least 4 weeks and adds significant time and administrative burden to the process. The CCP specifically waives this requirement for all roles on the critical skills occupations list, meaning your employer does not need to advertise locally first and can submit your permit application immediately upon agreeing to hire you. The 2 qualification routes for the CSCP. From March 1st, 2026, salary thresholds increased. The CCP requires €40,904 for roles on the critical skills occupation list, or €68,911 for all other eligible roles. Route 1. Your role is on the critical skills occupations list and your salary meets or exceeds €40,904 per year. This is the most accessible route and covers the widest range of professions. Route 2. Your role is not on the critical skills occupations list, but your salary meets or exceeds €68,911 per year. This higher salary threshold compensates for the absence of a specific shortage occupation designation. What occupations are on the critical skills occupations list in 2026? The critical skills occupations list is updated periodically by the Department of Enterprise, Tourism and Employment. For 2026, it includes roles across several broad categories: ICT and technology, software developers, IT managers, cybersecurity analysts, data scientists, cloud architects, systems analysts, engineering, civil, mechanical, electrical, chemical, petroleum engineers, healthcare, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, physiotherapists, radiographers, medical scientists, science, research scientists, laboratory scientists, biotechnologists, finance and accounting, financial analysts, senior accountants, actuaries, and a range of other specific high-demand roles, including veterinary surgeons, town planners, and specialist educators. If you are unsure whether your specific role qualifies, the official check is to search the DEET Critical Skills Occupations list on the enterprise.gov.ie website. This is the definitive and most current version and should be verified before any application is submitted. Processing time. Processing takes 4 to 8 weeks for the Critical Skills Employment Permit. His is significantly faster than most comparable work permit systems in Europe and is one of the key advantages of the CSCP specifically. Permit fees. The Critical Skills Employment Permit costs €1,000 for 2 years plus a €300 IRP registration fee. The €1,000 permit fee is typically paid by the employer in Ireland. The IRP, Irish Residence Permit, registration fee is paid when you physically register in Ireland after arrival. The permit application process, step by step. Step 1. Secure your job offer. Your employer must be a registered Irish business paying PAYE and PRSI, the Irish payroll taxes. Your employer applies for the permit through the DEET's Online Employment Permits Online System, EPOS. The employer submits the application with your qualification documents, your employment contract, and the relevant supporting documents. Step 2. Receive your permit approval. Once DEET approves the permit, you receive a permit approval letter. Step 3. Apply for your Irish entry visa, if required. As a Nigerian passport holder, you require an Irish entry visa in addition to your employment permit. You apply for this through your nearest Irish embassy or consulate. The Embassy of Ireland in Abuja handles Nigerian applications. The entry visa application is submitted with your permit approval letter, your passport, financial documentation, and supporting materials. Processing typically takes 4 to 8 weeks. Step 4. Travel to Ireland. Once both your permit and your entry visa are granted, you can travel to Ireland. Step 5. Register your IRP. Within 90 days of arrival, you must register your Irish residence permit at your local immigration office. In Dublin, this is the Dublin Immigration Service Delivery Office. Outside Dublin, it is your local Garda National Immigration Bureau office. Registration costs €300 and produces your IRP card, which is your primary residence documentation in Ireland. For Nigerian professionals with families, the family provisions of the CSCP are genuinely extraordinary, and the specific rules change significantly on June 12, 2026 in ways that affect planning for some categories of permit holders. Let me give you the complete, accurate picture. Critical skills employment permit holders. Immediate family reunification. Critical skills employment permit holders may bring family to Ireland from day 1 the permit with no waiting period. This is the single most family-friendly feature of any Irish work permit category. From the moment you receive your CCP, your spouse or civil partner and your dependent children can apply to join you in Ireland. You do not need to have been in Ireland for any minimum period first. You do not need to have earned above any minimum income threshold for CSCP family reunification specifically. The immediate reunification right is automatic for CCP holders. Holders of the Critical Skills Employment Permit have the right to apply for family reunification to bring their spouse or civil partner, as well as minor dependent children to Ireland. If their application is approved, their relatives will receive Stamp 1G on their passports/site. What Stamp 1G means for your spouse. Spouses or de facto partners of critical skills permit holders are eligible to join the permit holder in Ireland. They receive Stamp 1G permission, which allows them to work in Ireland without needing a separate employment permit. This is a major advantage compared to the general employment permit route, where spouse work rights are more limited and family reunification is delayed. Stamp 1G is genuinely exceptional for spousal rights. Your spouse can work for any employer in Ireland without needing to apply for or hold their own employment permit. They can change jobs freely. They can study. And after working in Ireland for a period, they can build their own independent immigration status. What Stamp 1G means for your children. Once family members arrive in Ireland, they will have the right to work and study in Ireland. Dependent children, meaning children under 18 or under 23 if in full-time education, can attend Irish schools. Primary and secondary education in Ireland is free for children of legal residents, regardless of their immigration status. This is a significant practical benefit for Nigerian families relocating with school-age children. The June 12, 2026 family reunification changes. What changed and what it means. On June 12, 2026, Ireland introduced significant changes to its family reunification policy for non-EEA nationals. The biggest change is to the income threshold. Previously, sponsors needed to show a gross income of €40,000 over 3 years, approximately €13,333 per year. The new requirement is €75,000 over 3 years, or €25,000 per year. This is a significant increase and will affect many general employment permit holders. Critical skills employment permit holders are somewhat insulated from this change. CCP holders earn a minimum of €40,904 per year, which comfortably exceeds the new €25,000 annual threshold. This is the most important practical update from the June 12th changes. CSCP holders are not significantly affected because their minimum salary already exceeds the new threshold. However, for Nigerian professionals who arrive on a general employment permit rather than a CCP, or who are upgrading from a GP to a CCP, the income threshold increase is significant and requires careful planning. The existing requirement for the GP holder to have completed 12 months of residence in Ireland before submitting a family reunification application also remains in place. This means GP holders face both a higher income threshold and a 12-month wait before applying for family reunification, two significant disadvantages compared to CSCP holders who face neither. The practical family reunification process. Your family members apply for their Irish entry visas and family reunification permission through the Immigration Service Delivery, ISD, of the Department of Justice. The application requires your CCP approval, your IRP registration confirmation, your family members' passports, birth certificates, marriage certificate, proof of your Irish address, and evidence of your income and employment in Ireland. Processing for family reunification applications is typically 8 to 12 weeks. Applications can be submitted from day one of your CCP. You do not need to be in Ireland yourself for a minimum period first before applying for your family to join you. The CSCP is not just a work permit. It is the beginning of a clearly defined pathway to permanent residency and eventually Irish citizenship. Let me walk through that pathway precisely. Stamp 4. Long-term residency after 2 years. CCP holders can apply for Stamp 4, open work permission, after just 21 months. More specifically, after completing 2 years of lawful employment under a critical skills permit, the holder becomes eligible to apply for Stamp 4 permission. Stamp 4 is Ireland's version of permanent residency. It grants you the right to live and work in Ireland without any employment permit. You can work for any employer, change jobs freely, or work for yourself. You can access public services on the same basis as Irish citizens. You can sponsor eligible family members. And you can remain in Ireland indefinitely subject to maintaining your residence and not violating the conditions of your status. The transition from CCP to Stamp 4 is one of the smoothest in Europe. It is a straightforward application process supported by your employment history documentation, your IRP, and evidence of continued residence. Irish citizenship after 5 years. After 5 years of continuous legal residence in Ireland, which for a CSCP holder means 2 years on the CSCP, then 3 additional years on Stamp 4 or another qualifying status, you become eligible to apply for Irish citizenship through naturalization. Irish citizenship through naturalization requires 5 years of continuous legal residence in Ireland, a declaration of intention to remain in Ireland, a character declaration, and a fee of €175 for the citizenship application. Upon naturalization, you receive an Irish passport, one of the most powerful travel documents in the world, providing visa-free access to the EU Schengen area, the United States under ESDA, Canada, Australia, and approximately 190 destinations globally. Ireland allows dual citizenship. You do not need to renounce your Nigerian passport to become Irish. This is a genuinely extraordinary long-term outcome for Nigerian professionals and their families. The complete timeline. Weeks 1 to 4. Secure your job offer and employer submits CSCP application weeks 5 to 12. CSCP and Irish entry visa processed week 12 to 16. Travel to Ireland. Register IRP day 1 onwards. Family reunification application can be submitted month 2 to 4. Family joins you in Ireland month 24. Apply for Stamp 4 long-term residency year 5. Eligible to apply for Irish citizenship. Let me give you the real salary picture for the Irish job market in 2026, because making a relocation decision without understanding what you will actually earn and keep after taxes would be like planning a trip without knowing the flight cost. The overall salary picture. The average salary in Ireland in 2026 is about €4,385 per month gross, €52,600 a year. After income tax, USC, and PRSI, a typical full-time worker keeps roughly €3,400 per month net. The median advertised salary in Ireland is approximately €55,000, with Dublin close to €60,000, Galway around €52,000, and Cork approximately €46,000. By sector, what Nigerian professionals most commonly earn. Technology roles. Software developers earn between €55,000 and €110,000, depending on seniority. Senior engineers and architects can exceed €120,000. Data scientists earn between €60,000 and €95,000. Cybersecurity professionals earn between €65,000 and €110,000. Healthcare, registered nurses earn between €35,000 and €55,000. Specialist nurses and nurse practitioners earn between €50,000 and €75,000. Junior doctors on NCHD contracts earn between €37,000 and €80,000, depending on training grade. Consultant-level physicians earn significantly above this range. Finance and accounting. Financial analysts earn between €45,000 and €80,000. Senior accountants and finance managers earn between €65,000 and €100,000. Actuaries and specialist finance professionals earn between €80,000 and €150,000 at senior levels. Engineering, civil, mechanical, and chemical engineers earn between €50,000 and €90,000, depending on seniority and sector. The tax reality, what you actually keep. Ireland's income tax system consists of three components. Income tax, a 20% rate on income up to €42,000, and a 40% rate on income above that. The Universal Social Charge, USC, which adds 0.5 to 8% depending on income bands. And PRSI, pay-related social insurance, at 4% for employees. At €45,000 in Dublin, net around €2,950 per month after Dublin rent and bills, you are left with a few €100, livable with flatmates. But the comfort threshold for single living in Dublin realistically starts around €55,000 to €60,000 gross. Outside Dublin, that threshold drops sharply. This is the honest trade-off to understand. Ireland's salaries are genuinely strong by European standards, but Ireland's cost of living, particularly housing in Dublin, is genuinely high. The financial equation works most comfortably for CSEP-level salaries of €55,000 and above, particularly if you can live outside central Dublin, where both rent and purchasing costs are meaningfully lower. The total cost of relocating from Nigeria to Ireland ranges from 5 million Nigerian nairas to 15 million Nigerian nairas, approximately $3,200 to $9,700 in 2026, depending on your permit type and city. Let me break down the major cost categories that every Nigerian professional relocating to Ireland needs to budget for. Housing, the biggest challenge. Ireland's housing market has remained under pressure for years. Residential property prices increased by over 7% in 2025, while the median house price climbed to about €381,000 nationally. The situation is even more difficult in Dublin, where demand continues to exceed supply. Average rent is €17 per square meter, expensive with limited availability, approximately 30% in major cities. Dublin's median one-bedroom rent is approximately €2,000 per month. Many Nigerians moving to Ireland begin with shared accommodation to reduce costs. Renting a room in a shared apartment may cost between €700 and €1,100, depending on location. The housing challenge is Ireland's most significant practical difficulty for newcomers. The rental market in Dublin in particular moves extremely fast. Good properties rent within days, and being unprepared with references, bank statements, and a deposit ready can mean losing multiple apartments before securing one. Budget for 4 to 8 weeks in temporary accommodation, a serviced apartment or extended stay hotel, while you search for a permanent rental. Factor this temporary accommodation cost into your relocation budget. Outside Dublin is genuinely viable. Cork, Galway, Limerick, Waterford, and Kilkenny all have significant job markets, particularly Cork, which hosts major pharmaceutical companies and financial services firms, at meaningfully lower accommodation costs than Dublin. Cork is approximately 20% more affordable than Dublin. Galway is a cultural hub and university city. Limerick offers regenerating city opportunities at the most affordable price point. For Nigerian families relocating together, the calculation of slightly lower salary against significantly lower rent and housing cost often favors Cork, Galway, or Limerick over Dublin. Food prices in Ireland are manageable if you cook at home regularly. A single person may spend between €250 and €450 monthly on groceries. Nigerian food products, including yam, plantain, palm oil, egusi, dried fish, and other staples, are available in African food shops in Dublin, Cork, and Galway. The community of Nigerians and broader West Africans in Ireland is well established, and the food infrastructure to support exists. Eating out in Ireland is expensive. A meal at a mid-range restaurant typically costs €15 to €30 per person. Cooking at home is both cheaper and, for Nigerian families, often preferable. Healthcare. Ireland has a public healthcare system, the HSE, and a private system. As a CTCP holder, you are entitled to access public healthcare services. However, access to a GP, a general practitioner, through the public system requires registering with a GP practice, and in some areas of Dublin, GP practices have closed their books to new patients due to demand. Most Irish residents supplement public access with private health insurance. The most widely used providers are VHI, Leia Healthcare, and Irish Life Health, with a basic individual plan costing approximately €70 to €120 per month. Many employers in Ireland include private health insurance as a standard employment benefit. Check whether your employer provides this before purchasing independently. Childcare. Childcare costs in Ireland are significant and are one of the most commonly cited financial challenges for families with young children. Full-time childcare in a creche in Dublin typically costs €1,000 to €1,500 per month per child. The government's National Childcare Scheme provides subsidized childcare for children aged 24 weeks to 15 years, reducing costs for qualifying families. Children of primary school age, typically from 4 to 5 years, attend free state primary schools, which significantly reduces the cost burden for families with older children. Budget carefully for childcare costs if you are relocating with preschool children. Knowing the visa exists and knowing the salary data is valuable, but the prerequisite for all of it is securing the job offer. Let me give you a specific practical strategy for finding Irish employment from Nigeria. The critical starting point. Verify you are on the critical skills list. Before any job search, confirm that your specific occupation and your specific qualification level appear on the DEET Critical Skills Occupations list at enterprise.gov.ie. This is the single most important preliminary step because it determines your specific permit route, your salary threshold, and your eligibility for the immediate family reunification benefit. LinkedIn is your primary tool. Irish employers, particularly the multinationals, recruit heavily through LinkedIn. Optimize your profile completely with a professional headshot, a specific headline stating your target role and your qualifications, and a detailed work history. State explicitly in your About section that you are seeking opportunities in Ireland and that you hold qualifications relevant to the critical skills occupations list. Identify and follow Irish-based hiring managers, recruiters, and HR professionals at your target companies on LinkedIn. Engage genuinely with their content. Send personalized connection requests with a brief, specific message about your interest and qualifications. This warm approach converts at significantly higher rates than cold applications. Irish-specific job platforms. IrishJobs.ie is Ireland's largest domestic job platform. Jobs.ie is another major platform. Recruittrue.com specifically focuses on international recruitment for Irish employers and has explicit experience supporting non-EEA applicants through the CSCP process, making it particularly valuable for Nigerian applicants. VisaJobs.ie specifically lists companies that have sponsored CSCP holders previously. This is premium intelligence for your job search because targeting companies with a CSCP track record dramatically increases your likelihood of employer willingness to navigate the permit process. Address the permit question directly. Irish employers sometimes hesitate to hire non-EEA candidates because of uncertainty about the permit process. Address this directly and positively in your cover letter or first interview. Explain specifically that you qualify for the critical skills employment permit, that it does not require a labor market needs test, that the process is well-defined and takes 4 to 8 weeks, and that the employer can engage a reputable immigration specialist to handle the application on their behalf if needed. Removing their uncertainty removes their hesitation. I want to be honest with you about the challenges of relocating to Ireland, because choosing a country based on incomplete information leads to painful disappointment. The housing crisis is real and severe. I have mentioned it throughout this video, but it deserves direct emphasis. Ireland's housing crisis, particularly in Dublin, is one of the most severe in Europe. Competition for rental accommodation is intense. Properties at affordable price points in good locations are listed and rented within days. Nigerians relocating to Dublin without a network, references, or local knowledge face a genuinely difficult initial housing challenge. Prepare extensively before arrival. Research properties online through daft.ie and myhome.ie. Reach out to the established Nigerian community in Ireland for accommodation leads, and budget generously for temporary accommodation during your initial weeks. The weather. Ireland's climate is genuinely challenging for most Nigerians arriving from Lagos or any other Nigerian city. Ireland is wet, gray, and cold for significant portions of the year. Winters are dark. Dublin gets approximately 7.5 hours of daylight on the shortest days of December. The cold and the darkness affect some newcomers significantly in their first year, particularly those who have not lived in a cold climate before. This is not a reason not to go, but it is a reality to prepare for practically and psychologically. Consumer price inflation. Consumer prices in Ireland rose by 3.6% between March 2025 and March 2026, with housing and energy among the fastest growing expenses. Electricity and heating bills can be surprisingly high during winter, especially for Nigerians unfamiliar with cold European weather. Budget specifically for energy costs that are significantly higher than in Nigeria. Heating a home through an Irish winter adds meaningfully to monthly expenses. The community. The Nigerian and broader African community in Ireland is established, warm, and growing, particularly in Dublin, Cork, and Galway. Nigerian churches, community associations, cultural events, and food shops all exist and create genuine community infrastructure. But Ireland is not as large or as diverse a Nigerian diaspora as the UK or the US. If having a very large, well-established Nigerian community immediately around you is important to your family's well-being, the UK may offer a more immediate community depth than Ireland. And that is the complete guide to relocating to Ireland in 2026 with your family. The critical skills employment permit. No labor market needs test, 4 to 8 week processing, immediate family reunification from day one, spouse work rights automatically included, stamp for long-term residency after 2 years, and Irish citizenship and passport eligibility after 5 years. For Nigerian professionals with qualifying skills in technology, healthcare, engineering, finance, or science, Ireland is offering something genuinely extraordinary in 2026. English language, EU access, EU passport pathway, world-class multinational employers, and a country that, despite its housing challenges and gray winters, is consistently ranked among the world's most livable, most peaceful, and most developed societies. The housing challenge is real. The weather is real. The cost of living is real. But the opportunity is also real. And for Nigerian families who plan carefully, prepare thoroughly, and arrive with realistic expectations, Ireland can be one of the best decisions they ever make. If this video helped you understand the Ireland pathway more clearly, give it a thumbs up and share it with every Nigerian professional you know who is considering European relocation. Subscribe for more visa guides, relocation content, and migration strategy made specifically to help Nigerians navigate international opportunities. Drop a comment telling me your profession and whether Ireland is already on your radar. I read every single one. And if you need professional help with your Ireland CSCP application, Irish entry visa, or family reunification process, reach out to Social and Travels. The link is in the description. See you in the next video.